I mean, when we know there has to be decisive moments have to come, whether through an unfortunate incident or something. Decisive moments have come, and I think that was a decisive moment because many people believe that historic decision actually was the beginning of the end of Jammeh.
Do you think, who would you have credited? I know there was a 2016, there was an April 2014 incident, Solo Sandeng and his men, who Dabo later came to define as our Steve Biko. And there was the April 16 event which involved Dabo himself, and then there was the 2016 coalition which involves all the other political parties. I mean, this kind of events, where does the final pin on Jammeh's political coffin comes? Like where would you have placed it?
Well, it would be difficult because it was a catalog of events, both on the side of the opposition and the side of Jammeh himself, that led to his downfall. But you can say for safely that the culture of fear definitely was very well eliminated in the April, with the events of April 14 and 16. You could see that people no longer fear. And you know, one advantage of a coalition is that it removes fear. It removes fear. I mean, so. There was a culture of fear that has been removed, and the formation of the coalition comes even to strengthen that courage and newfound courage to confront the dictator. So all those three events actually led to Jammeh's collapse. But come on, you must take the April 2016 events as principal catalogs.
So as Solo died, so did fear.
Exactly.
So let's look at it thereafter. I mean, this is the Dabo that runs away and the Dabo that goes to court. Now, how was Dabo's leadership in summary was for UDP? In summary, in terms of how he leads them both in difficult times and in successful times. How was his leadership since you attended their first rally?
Not long ago, one analyst, Alaji Yorojalo, described Dabo as a political footballer who has a knack for scoring goals. He is a craftsman. He's a political craftsman, and he would have every reason to believe that he is the man who has the right wisdom and guidance to take the party to the level it has attained. I think along the path that he has been a man who has been consistent with his love for the party. I mean, with all what we have described here, with all the critics, what the critics have said, he never gave up. He probably might have been criticized for sometimes going under the duck or trying to save his skin or the party's skin. That could be interpreted as cowardice. But there was no point he gave up. See, that's very important. There was no point.
But there was no point his opponents gave up
either. But then there was no opponent. There was no point that he gave up. With all the risks and the oppression that he has encountered, there was no point that he gave up. And I think that said a lot about the party, because if it has been having leadership changes, probably it wouldn't have achieved what it has achieved now. And even now, he remains a unifying factor. I mean, all these things that are happening, I mean, everybody's listening. And the day he comes out to take a position on any issue, you can bet he's really going to carry it.
You think when the UDP people came out years ago, a lot of people after then said, well, we're loyal to this guy. When we went to several people and they didn't take it, and we went to him, he took it.
Yes.
That loyalty, do you still think that we still have that support in UDP?
Yes, well, of course, you know, along the way, I don't know how the pioneering officials or pioneering, the figures who pioneered UDP are still thinking of him. But I can say for sure, along the way, and you know, his time has passed, 22 years have passed.
Yeah.
So even whereas the pioneers, personnel who were behind him coming to the party or the party going to him, whatever the case is, whatever their position is, Dabo himself also have cultivated along the way, you could say, a multitude of admirers, you know,
within the party.
Within the party.
That went to him.
That went to him too. So So now he himself become a pillar now. So much so that even if you want now even the pioneers, like
he happens to be in the elders of
exactly. Even if they want to think twice now, they will still have to do with the multitude of people whose hearts and minds beat in unison when it comes to his leadership in the party. So that's their problem.
Let's talk politics now. I mean, national politics as in pursuit for presidency. UDP has gone to Congress. It started going to Congress in this year. We've seen them at the constituency level. We saw them at regional, ward level, constituency level, regional level, and now we are at the national level. Well, let's talk the whole process. Tensions have emerged, quite a number of them.
Yeah.
And all in all, it's been summarized in one acronym or abbreviation, BYM. The Barrow Youth Movement.
Yeah.
Do you think the UDP is having a struggle for its life, a fight for its life?
Well, there have been a lot of commentaries, opinions, and projections and analysis. But then, of course, even those analyses did not come to terms as to how the future of the party would be. But there are a lot of people who sense a signal that they think could be detrimental to the health of the unity of the party. And that is the fact that there are people who are propagating the agenda of President Barrow coming in to become the flag bearer of the party in 2021. And then there are people within the party who oppose that. Now these opposing factions looks like have been at play over the last 3-4 years, even though the senior officials of the party have always played it down, have always played it down or denying categorically that there is no such division. But of course we have been observing and we know that there are issues now within the party. However, being the party that clearly, like I told you, enjoyed the trust of most of the electorates, that is as far as the recent elections are, if there are anything to go by, you may say the UDP didn't have the overwhelming majority when it comes to the popular votes, but at least the votes that are cast, and since it is first past the post, they gathered more votes and more seats. So you could say they are the biggest and the most successful party at the polls in the recent elections. You can expect that there will be squabbles. But this particular one happened to pit two people against one another, each of them, you know,
with might.
Each of them fight. So you may think that the party is delicately poised as to whether it is going to split between Barrow and Dabo. For now, what I can say is that I think it is a little bit. Still, I think the UDP remains very much intact around Dabo. I haven't seen much success recorded by the splinter group so far. I call them splinter group because obviously that's it. So far.
Yeah.
From what we have seen here and with what we are about to see here, I'm sure we have a lot of people emphasizing, confirming their trust for Dabo countrywide. So I didn't think the splinter group have succeeded much as to hold the balance, to take the balance in their favor yet. However, we still have 3 years to go, and I don't know what is going to happen. But for now, what I can say is the UDP remains very much intact around Dabo. I mean, that block, for me, is still more formidable than whatever the splinter group is now.
Now, let's bring a bit of history into this fracas. I mean, this is not the first time we've seen this kind of incidents, as it were, in UDP. You've talked about Wajwara, who perhaps was a more influential person in UDP than Barrow.
Yeah, but the circumstances...
Is there a similarity?
No, well, the circumstances change. Whereas Wa was just an ordinary member or popular official of the party, Barrow is now president. And the presidency...
He wields the power of the state.
The presidency now has certain influence that of course Lamin Juara as party spokesman was never near. And that is why the stakes were higher. Because what somebody can achieve in terms of influence as president is far greater than what a spokesman can do. And that's what people are fearing. People are fearing that this man as president now, within the next 3 years, he could work on some things that can tilt the balance in his favor. I mean, there are others, and I will align my thoughts and thinkings along with others who think that, look, all this is not necessary. And it's causing unnecessary distraction and drawing unnecessary criticism towards the party and the government. Because, of course, people see the government as the UDP government. Now, if President Barrow has such desires to run for the UDP in 2021, and since the UDP have already expressed that they sympathize or they are more sympathetic to his agenda to go up to 2021. Now, why wouldn't he wait, concentrate on his governance and projects, economic plans, the NDP, etc. Concentrate on all that, forget about partisan politics, until 2021, January, for example. Then you come out and said, okay, Mr. Davo, just to put it simply, in a layman's way, I don't know, because there are a lot of delicacies. It might not be as simple as I'm thinking, but anyway. Mr. Davo, it's 2021. We have about 11 months to the elections. I have now come to you. You are the party, father and mother of the party. I want you to give me an opportunity to continue my work on the platform of the UDP. That's 2021. So you find out that whatever will happen between January and the elections, and we would have passed all these 4 years or 5 years, you know, in amicable and in an amicable atmosphere, with all the projects that were projected and the NDP implemented. And Barrow himself would have now more selling points to say, I achieved that. I mean, the last time he was talking about what he intends to achieve, he thinks that can even give him a lot of support and justification to continue.
A mandate.
If he had waited, or his advisors have waited until 2021 and then start this.
Do you think he still has chance?
Probably there would have been a little bit more, much more, they would have a little bit more wisdom than starting these distractions now.
3 years to the election.
You are not even in the middle of the mandate. Now if you start this confusion, the confusion starts by now, you will get distracted. A lot of critics will buy into it that no, you are not no longer even working for the state. You are howling as to who will be your party leader next. That's what that occupied your time. So I think that all these things are unnecessary. They could have waited. These issues could have waited until 2021. Barrow had the opportunity to say, well, you know what, I have come for an agenda, and that agenda is to develop the country, change the laws, develop the country up to the next 5 years, and we go back to the politics. All right? I have no time for politics.
But let's
then you find out you will have more credentials, even within the UDP and to the general public in 2021. But now, if him or his advisors, I don't know who is started this confusion from now, then you find out that the water is muddied even before the right time for it.
So let's look at the politics of it. We know that the UDP will have a Congress today, and several members will be elected.
Yes.
In the course of the so-called dispute between UDP and the BYM or the Barrow Youth Movement or Barrow or the splinter group as you call them,
yeah,
there was a tension in Birikama regional, the West Coast region.
Yes, yes.
Do you think we might see that tension replicating itself at the National Congress level?
Well, no, because that tension was stemmed from the board in the eventual election that happened. You know, those delegates who were protesting were not allowed access to go to the conference room, and they went home after, of course, expressing their anger as to what they feel. I mean, their complaint was they believe that the constituency elections in Combo South and Sana Bentering, to be specific, were not properly conducted. They felt that the majority of the people who are eligible to vote did not vote in those constituency elections. But then, of course, the overall picture is that they are seen to be pro-Barrow, and the others are seen to be pro-Dabo. So they felt that because they had shown or indicated sympathy to the Barrow agenda, that's why they've been eliminated. That's the feeling, whether they express it or not, that was the feeling they had. Correct. In this National Congress so far, you have seen the atmosphere here. Everything seems to be
smooth.
Very smooth.
But of course, we have presence of paramilitary guys in their riot gears.
Heavy security, let's say a combination of combined security units from different processes. Who are here, to try to catch the trouble before it gets into the next. And we haven't seen so far, of all what we have seen, we haven't seen so far any noise, as to people who might try to force their way or raise a voice against the procedures or whatever. We haven't yet. I don't think it will be like the one that we had in Brikama. The first attempt in Brikama Regional Congress was chaotic, both organizationally and whatever, because they could have known that there are people with an agenda and they will come to this stuff. They could have known.
So let's forget about BYM for a while and give Barrow some time to rest. If you look at the United Democratic Party and you look at its leadership, since 1996, Dabo has consistently been the leader. You don't think also the old man should probably give it a break and probably maintain his position in the leadership of the party, but say, I am resigning from contesting for presidency?
There are a lot of people with this kind of feeling, to be frank, even within the UDP, who felt that, well, it's not only because you haven't achieved the presidency that you haven't become,
president, or you are not powerful.
If you go to Nigeria now, a name like Chief Obafemi Awolowo is as respected and even more respected as any other person who have
occupied the seat of presidency.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So your contribution to national politics is not only by being president. In fact, most presidents have become even more discredited than politicians who have never occupied the seat. And Dabo have achieved that cult now. People have started telling him that he became president even before his name was in the ballot again. There are a lot of people within the UDP and outside who felt that perhaps it is time
to call it off.
For him to call it off. But like I said, there are always a method and a strategy that can be used to avoid confusion. If there are people in the UDP who felt like this old man should now perhaps give way. Even if they don't have their own choice of possible successor in their mind, they could still approach it in 2021 and say, look, we felt that you have now reached a scale which you know that you are even an institution, even more important than the presidency. If you stay away as party's live president, you will still be more influential. Nyerere did that. Julius Nyerere did that. After he left, after 3 successive presidents of Tanzania came through his Chama Mapinduzi, and he lined them up. He felt that after him, Nkapa, and then, etc., should come after one another. And that's what they did.
And Dabo himself, a lot of people who became even Talib Bensouda came through his endorsement.
Exactly. Whoever he endorsed would certainly get the party's nod. And that's what I said. Barrow or his advisors, if they had this ambition, should have waited until the right moment and come and tell the old man, we felt that perhaps you should retire. You have achieved a lot. Could you give us opportunity to take a younger man? Even if they don't come with Barrow directly, just take a younger man. And they could say, okay, Barrow actually have achieved this, have achieved this, have achieved this. We have got the incumbency. Why don't we just give him the go to, just to continue sailing smoothly? But that approach did not come. Instead, the approach that comes now is confrontational. And thanks to Davos' calmness and and of course conciliatory attitude. He did not jump into to swim with this side or the other. He just still stand at his own and didn't say this or this or this or this topic.
And he keeps denying attention we are all seeing in the open.
Yes, that's why the ship is still sailing in calm waters. But imagine if he is to talk now, what would happen? Well, that obviously will now define the lines and draw the battle lines. So I can see a situation where he will remain silent until the last moment, and that could be 2021. Why can the splinter group wait, concentrate on developing the country and recording achievements until then, and then start talking?
So in terms of this whole in the UDP, where do you see it ending?
Well, it is not giving themselves good publicity. That's number one. I mean, they cannot say they are enjoying the headlines that are coming from this division. The opposition, that is the other political parties such as the APRC, the GDC, are taking are feasting in this kind of thing. They will say, oh, well, here they are. I mean, even before midway into their term, they are not squabbling for positions and thinking about 2021. They are not serious. They, we have said at the beginning that
they are distracted.
Yes, we have said at the beginning that these people are hungry. Look, they have started even before they go midway.
So it vindicates them.
So it vindicates the APRC and the GDC say, well, we've said this. We are vindicated. These people are not serious. People, they just have squabbling among themselves. They can develop this country. That's why I said, whatever ambition somebody has within the UDP, should wait until 2021, because at least it is the UDP that's sympathetic to the Barrow agenda to serve for 5 years. The other members of the coalition have said.
So critics said, in fact, they emboldened him, and now they should pay for the price. They've emboldened him to betray the coalition agenda.
That's the situation. You remember, of course, from the very beginning when
Salah said, well,
his position was we can go to the parliamentary elections, we remain intact.
Yes.
We contest the parliamentary elections under the coalition, and then you find out that the goodwill that governments and national community give us would be really maintained if we come together rather than we split. And it was the UDP who came and said, look, you know what? We have to go on our own. And in fact, this idea of a coalition, of living 3 years is unconstitutional, and we will challenge it. So now, the opponents would say, well, there you go.
That is apparently playing Lamu.
You're the one who emboldened the man to go for 5 years, and now, he's trying what in the own eyes now.
Yes.
So yes, it could be like that.
So there
will be a general feeling among the opposition that such is the situation. Yeah.
Now, I mean, it was the coalition 2016 that brought Barrow this success, and the UDP was part of that. I mean, we are here 2 years on. Can you remember the formation of the coalition 2016?
Yes, I was, you and I was following them. You remember we went together to the UDP bureau when Barrow was been unveiled as the flag bearer of the
in Banjul.
Until you mentioned the name, I told you I've never had.
In Banjul.
You said it was already leaked on social media. I said, what? You said, but I've never heard of that name, Mr. Bat. You could be mistaken.
And thanks goodness he recognized you.
He recognized me right away.
He said, Mr. Lamintan.
I said, so this is what you're talking about. I said, I've never heard of the name. They came there and found it. So you see how it happened at the time. We were following all the twists and crannies of the calling. Yes, I can remember it because I was at the unveiling of Barrow at the UDP Secretariat in Banjul.
Yeah, in Banjul.
And I also followed the convention blow by blow.
Yeah.
When the negotiations were happening until the last minute when I said independent people had to break away and come back. The final messages of the candidates for the convention, Salah, Ba, Bojang, Barrow and others, from their various parties, their speeches, we covered all that. The intervention of Fatmata Tambajang and all this, we covered all that. But so much water has passed under the bridge now. For now, it looks a distant past.
It looks a distant past.
Yes, that's because of the events that have happened. And it was only 2 years ago. Yeah, you could say that there's no dull moment in politics. So people will say, we expect this. We expect this.
So you think in terms of how he's managing to A lot of us think that, I mean, we are the UDP Congress, but of course we can talk about the party's position on Barrow and Barrow's position on the party and the things that happen within. You think Barrow is reading from Macky Sall's playbook, as it were? When he came to power also on a coalition platform and then later dust of all the coalition.
Yes. On the surface it may look alike, but the circumstances are different. Yes. Because whereas Macky can afford to do away with some of his partners and still rely on a lot of majorities, a lot of numbers, Barrow does not seem to have that kind of opportunity, that fortune, because I think his political base is around the UDP. I cannot see the GDC working with him. They say politics, there are many bedfellows, but GDC have shown a lot of lack of respect for him. If you will forgive me, they don't seem to respect him, and I cannot see them working with him. Though he is very principled, they are very principled to be bought by mere cohesion, etc. It will take more time to get them over, and of course APRC, they will disagree here. They don't seem to have the numbers now. So whereas Macky could knock off his initial allies and still rely on a lot of support, Barrow will have to find numbers
How about political astuteness like of Macky Sall? Macky appears to be politically astute and quite brute when dealing with potential opponents like Macky Sall, Halifa Sallah and Karim Wad and others. Do you think Barrow has the...
No, but even Macky Sall has been accused of dictatorial tendencies. You know that he's been accused of...
Barrow could also box the whole man aside.
By using the law, criminal law, whatever, to lock up his potential opponents. I mean, he's been accused of doing that, etc. But I can't see Barrow will be able to do that. For example, can he lock up Lawyer Dabu on one charges or notice? It would be impossible.
If there are charges of maybe abuse of office,
it's not possible. So, you know, recently he made some remarks and everybody is up in arms against that and started misinterpreting in their own way. So Barrow doesn't have the leeway as Jammeh had, coming out brutally to oppress his opponents. He can't. He simply can't. I mean, the Gambian has become more sophisticated. The Gambian has become more resistant.
And now
they don't want to see anything that is very similar to Jammeh tactics. So Barrow cannot afford to be brutal. I mean, he just simply wouldn't be given the chance. That's it.
So where do you see him now gaining strength as opposed to, like, in a scenario where the tension with UDP continues, and Barrow, the determined Barrow we are seeing from State House, the determined President Barrow, with all due respect, we're seeing in State House, where do you see it playing out? I mean, how do you see it play out? I mean, in terms of either success or failure of his career?
I think whatever happens, if this initial fallout within the UDP is put under control, like what we will see here, the message we will see here from this gathering is if there is overwhelming support and endorsement from Dabo, even though the UDP themselves said that being a party leader and being a flag bearer could be different. But if the message we got here is an overwhelming endorsement of Mr. Dabo, perhaps the message, the strong message that will come here will guide or inform the reaction of the splinter group, so to speak. Perhaps they would change their tactics and there will be calm will be restored within the party. And that is very necessary, because if that happens, then Mr. Barrow can concentrate, and his government can concentrate on pursuing the national development plan and other development projects. So the message that will come from here today will inform and guide the splinter group and their ambitions as to how to go ahead now. Whether they are going to abandon the His agenda of pushing Barrow to become flag bearer of the UDP, whether they will abandon that, or they probably go back to the Barrow youth movement, you know, which they are accused of trying to transform the political party, or whether they will be bold enough now to say, okay, there's no chance in here, we're going to go and form our own political bloc. We will see.
We will, thank you very much, viewers. We are here at the UDP Congress. Like we started, it's the arrival of the delegates that is happening, and Mr. Honorable Lamin Cham, a veteran journalist, is with me here, who was seeing the first meeting of the United Democratic Party, and now we are going for a commercial break, and when we come to discussion on the United Democratic Party, we'll continue.
Buying a plot can be easy, or maybe a tedious task sometimes, especially when you have so many real estate companies, agents, landowners, and even sometimes so-called landlords all calling to buy their properties. Getting the land is the easiest part, but owning the land with genuine documentation is the problem. We have seen unprecedented court cases of people going to court to settle land issues. If you're looking to buy a plot or a built home with no risk of stress, guys, look for the right real estate company. At EJ Investments, we don't just sell plots, we build communities, where any plot you buy from us comes with access to water, electricity, internal roads, and other social amenities. We guarantee you genuine contract documentations the moment you pay a deposit, and a complete handover of your title deeds as soon as completing payment. We currently operate 3 projects in strategic locations, selling service plots and built homes in our estate 2 Jennings Seafront, Sanyang Seaview Estate, and our Gunjur Seafour Coastal Highway Estate. Our plots are affordable. From only $90,000, you can own a home at our Gunjur Seafour Coastal Highway Estate, and from $200,000, you can own a home of your dream at our Sanyang Seaview and Lakeview Estate. Our 2 Jennings Seafront Estate starts from $300,000. Plot sizes ranges from 20 by 20, 20 by 25, and 25 by 25. And we offer an option of 30% deposit and 2-year payment plans on all our estates. A beautiful home with peaceful and happy neighborhood awaits you at our project 2 Jennings Seafront Estate, Sanyang Seaview and Lakeview Estate, and Gunjur Seafour Coastal Highway Estate. Call our office on 4464838 or 302-1056, which is also on WhatsApp. Email us or visit our website on ejinvestments.net to learn more about our projects. EJ Investments, very fast in property.
Hello and welcome back to this special edition. We are here at Paradise Suite Hotel, where the United Democratic Party is holding its National Congress. Today, I've started the day with a veteran journalist, Lamin Cham, who is the managing editor of the Standard newspaper. He has attended the first rally of the United Democratic Party in September 1996. And he was here with me to discuss the challenges in the party and the problems that the party had gone through and the successes that they've achieved over time. But now joining me is Mr. Kemo Bojang. He's a youth leader in this country. He's currently working with the KMC, the Cardiff Municipal Council, as their youth coordinator, if I'm right. Youth councillor. And he's also a delegate at this Congress. He's a member of the United Democratic Party, and he's going to vie for the National Youth Secretary General. This is the young version of Hussein Dabo. Yeah. So, Mr. Bojang, welcome to this program.
Thank you very much.
Let's begin with the future of young people in politics. I mean, we've talked about young people in politics all the time, and we say, well, young people are not supported by decision makers. The decisions being made by our decision makers who are old people. Where do you? I saw you the other time talk about the importance of young people in politics.
Yeah.
What's the significance?
I think it's very important. considering that in the next 10, 20 years, we would be the ones to face most of these policies that are going to be made by politicians today. So that being the case, I think it is important that we get actively involved in politics. And secondly, to be partisan or non-partisan, because I think it is very important that young people also get involved in partisan politics, because we talk about a lot of changes that we want to do. We talk about a lot of reforms and new ideas we want to bring in. But you realize that most of the time you can't do this from the outside. And most of the time you have to get in there and realize how these institutions or how these structures work and try to correct them from the inside. And this is one of the reasons that has inspired me, well, even in as much as that I come from a long line of politicians, but this has also been one of the things that has inspired me to take part in active partisan politics, because I have realized that all opposition parties are governments in waiting for it, and we cannot have a party that is not apt or that is not up to the standard that we and think that when they get into power they're going to transform and be the ideal government we want. So it has to start from somewhere. It has to start from them being oppositions and how they're able to put in very good structures and very good institutions within the party, the intra-organization of the party, and this will translate when they become governments.
A lot of young people a lot of people at your age often say, well, politics is dirty.
Yeah.
And you on the other hand think, well, one ought to be an active player in the game to be able to make policies that affects, good policies that affect young people. You seem to disagree.
Yeah, because
it's not a dirty game.
I think politics is one of the oldest professions, which is one. And secondly, it's a gentleman's game, in my opinion. The players have made it bad through the years, but when you look at the history of politics and how politics has played as an instrument of change, or for example as an instrument of government, you realize that this is one of the greatest things that have happened to man. But with time, people that have been engaged in politics have ruined politics as a whole. This is why we have to change. This is why young people have to take part in politics. This is why young people have to take part in politics. Yeah, so that's my uncle, and then go by force. So when I said that I come from a long line of politicians, he's one of them. He has been an inspiration. So coming from people like this, it has made me enjoy politics, and I've seen what politics is and how noble some of them are. So this is why we have to change the game. This is why young people have to be actively participating. Because if we don't participate, it's going to be at the same level. So until we take part and change the changes we want to see, the game is going to be dirty, as we call it.
So talk to me about I think we will stop the interview with Kemo, and then we will bring Kemo back. But for now, we would have the national president of the United Democratic Party, Mr. Dembo Bojang. So we would bring back. So I was. So we briefly have.
Can I probably interview one thing?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Thank you for that.
So this one, we need to put it up. But in the Kundula, we will. So, yes. Does he need to shut this down? That's so inside.
Of November 2018 marks the biannual Congress
So when they are
of the United Democratic Party.
set up
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President is here, greeting the delegates. He is now moving multi-podium. Magulu! Alubulo! La Usene Namtabo! Fatima Kuliko! Nidana Kumalonko! Bimanga Kamia! Hara Kamia Panya Nidina Bunda! Hara Kamia Panya Nidina Bunda! Peruma! Olemani! Ushayani! Bipayani! La Usene! The Right Honorable Oje Jallo. Nimbono Referent, Latale Bulok Kasi, Nesan, history in the making, Tariko Kalabe Sabekan, Jumala Benyan, Willem, the leader of TMC, Gambia Moral Congress, Lawyer May Party. We now also, if Nakimaro Dialako, Gambia Dingan de Babel Frejan, Wellen Jumadi, Apollo Gambia, Lula Bakolari, but it be another Pulgala Kapu, Laya Usen Naboma, and then the Democratic Party. Well, Mr. Emeba.
After that.
Okay, Momo, going to see the CJ, Bucky, Punaka, Pinawaka, Nyambala, Nina Sikaram, Homeland, Wahaman, MCB, Dinarano, Bena Bena. You can't see Momo Plazota, Momo, the delegate Muti. About the consequences about your belly, you go there and sit, please. The right honorable, Amana Pandal, Adana Pumotala, Pudawani Gadala. Thank you very much, Mr. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. UDP democracy, Allah dogo ni Bari alinga si wado tata demanding na alpha bal natale e delegation mbalbe bunyato welcome la KMC annual congress biennial congress akumaya bakele wala tunna lafta mobe ala sidula muta sina programme dati mbe delegate sol danila anila delegates leader sol yesi executive national executive committee members momo be duma yena yela place ota ñu ngi ñaan delegates yépp pour ñu toog ñu wara mëna start suñ programme bi ci nim gëna gaawé tay aljuma la delegates leaders and chairmen ñu ngi leena ñaan way ngeen toog ñu mëna start programme bi in earnest. Distinguished guests of the United Democratic Party, Her Excellency, the former Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Aja Fatoumata Jallow,
Hello, viewers, and welcome to this special edition.